I'm going to be showing you how to take these unhemmed pant bottoms and turn them into something ready to wear just with hand stitching in your normal machine. Now the reason why this is such a common alteration is because most suits when you buy them come unhemmed. So what are you supposed to do if you need a suit real quick but you don't have time to get it in and out of the tailor with all their wait times or whatever have you, but you don't have the machine to do a blind hem? Well, I'm going to show you how to do it by hand and a little bit of tacking with a home sewing machine so that you can get this done in that it's acceptable to wear for a little bit so you can get it to your tailor. Now I would just like to preface this video with saying this is not how you are supposed to be hemming your pants. This is not how I would hem a customer's pants. This is just an option for you if you have no other option, you need to wear a suit quickly, or if you already have an old suit that you pulled out of the closet but realize that the pants are too long or short. You can lengthen it this way too, but this is just a quick fix until you can get it done right. So we are stepping right into the measuring phase. See what I did there? Obviously, first thing, make sure that your pants are on. Otherwise, that's not going to help you with marking your pants. Now this part of the process, it will help you a ton if you can have a friend or relative or anybody help you mark these, but if not, this is how you're going to do it on your own. You're going to find your tailor's chalk. I don't know where I left mine. There it is. I would highly suggest not using a pen because this is not permanent. You're going to roll the inside of the pants. Oh, wait. Don't forget your shoes. Having shoes on is going to help you tremendously in finding the exact length that you're looking for your trouser length. So slip those bad boys on, and then we're going to proceed right back to where we started. Rolling the pant leg up, you're going to roll it till you find the spot. So you're going to bend down, roll to where you think it is. Make sure it's nice and straight. Then stand up straight and look in the mirror or kind of angle your head down to make sure you like it, because if you're looking at it while bending, as you notice, it keeps riding up and down my leg. So you want to make sure that when you're standing straight, it's at the spot that you personally like. Once you've found that sweet spot like I did here, you're going to mark the back. And I've heard some people ask about making it a tapered finish, and you can do that as well. And what you're going to do is you're just going to mark where you want the front. The way I do it, especially for these quick fixes, is I just do it straight across, and if it's professionally done, then what I'll do is I'll roll down the back and then mark them each separately so that you have a good angle to follow when you go to actually do the alterations. Do the same for the other leg, and then you're all set to go. Once you get them marked, flop them onto the table where you're going to be performing the rest of the marking and sewing. So find your marks, line them up so that you can see them face forward. On top is what I meant to say. After you have them laid out, you're going to have the lengths perfectly lined up, just like this, and that it continues to be lined up the rest of the leg all the way up to the waistband. Otherwise, it's going to look really weird once you cut it. Now here you can go either with your tapered mark or your straight across mark. Like I said, I'm going to go with the straight one just because this is temporary. Take your roller, go down it with some chalk, and then continue this process on all the layers just by flipping them over, keeping the tape measure real steady, and you'll be able to transport them to each side of the legs. Now at the end, you want there to be only about 2.5 inches, but here we have a little bit extra, and if you can, by all means, do not cut the edge, because unless you have a pair of pinking shears, it's going to fray and it's going to look terrible. So if for this temporary you can keep it a little bit longer, that's fine. If not, cut it with straight scissors, press it flat like this, and then continue with the rest of the steps. But if you can, don't cut it. Now we're going to grab the iron. Grab your iron, throw down your pressing towel, or just any bath towel that I'm using here. Put the pants down. Now you're going to find this mark and you're going to turn the pants into themselves. Sorry, I'm out of the camera for this section, but you'll see here in a second, right like this. So you're just going to cone them into themselves and line it up on that line you marked. If you did it at a slant, you're just going to match it up to that line. So here we go, laying it down, and you're going to use your iron, which is plenty hot with lots of steam. Just press on there, because without this crease being there, you're going to have a hard time keeping it straight when you stitch it, and it's just going to look funky at the end, and we don't want that, guys. So make sure you get both sides very well. So that's what it looks like, nice and creased up. Let's move on. So I got my needle and thread here. I'm using a very bright orange thread so that you can see it, but make sure you grab something that matches the fabric. Duh. Unwind all the thread you're going to need. Now be very generous here because you want to go around the entire pant leg without having to tie off and start again. So be very generous. Take as much as you need. Thread that puppy right through the eye of the needle. This might take you a few tries. And if you can't get it, highly recommend you invest in a needle threader. Best like 80 cents you'll ever spend. Then we're just going to tie off the end of the one strand of the string. You're not going to double it up here. Here, I just like to wrap it around the needle a couple times, pinch the thread with my fingers, and pull straight. You can do it however you want, but this is just the quickest and simplest way for me. Once you got that knot, you're just going to snip off the excess. Take your pant, and you're going to be doing the rest of this project working from it inside out. So just flip that puppy over. Make sure that you fold it back up to the crease that you just pressed in with the iron, and then start on one of the side seams. What I like to do is put the needle right into the extra fabric of the inlay so you don't worry about getting it seen on the outside. So just shove it in right up where that seam connects. It also hides the knot so it's not visible. Makes it a little bit more professional, you know? Take your needle from the outside of the fabric, pull it tight, and then here is where you're going to do your very own hand blind stitch. They have machines that do this, but you're going to do it by hand. You're just going to take the needle and just grab very little strands as you can, maybe one or two. This way it's going to provide a hold to the fabric with the thread, but it's not going to be visible because you're taking so few amount of threads. Just want to be very careful that you're only getting a few. Pull that tight and then just repeat that process, going on to the outside and going then into the inside to tack it. Now, I'm going to speed this up because this is going to take a little while to do, and thankfully with editing we can do that and save you guys a ton of time. But what I will say is the tighter you make these stitches, the better it's going to hold. I kind of got a little lazy here because it's for demonstration purposes, and I just blew through it. Also, you want to make sure that that edge stays straight, or then you'll have a really crooked hem. Once you finally get all the way around, we're going to tie off the stitch that we just made. Go back into that inlay piece. This will allow you to put a few tacks in without it being seen, and you're just going to double it up on itself. So see how I just put it over and I kind of make a loop with the thread, then push the needle through the inside of that loop and pull tight. You're going to perform this task one more time just to secure it, and if you want to be safe, go 3 times, but 2 will definitely be enough for you. Snip off the excess, and we're going to move on to the next tacking stage. Now, we're going to take the side seam here, and you can either do this by hand or by a home sewing machine. I will recommend that if you are not very proficient with your home sewing machine, stick with the hand method because you can control it a lot easier. I'm going to show you the hand method, but you're going to do the same thing, but just with a straight stitch on your machine. So take your thread, tie another knot, and pull it through that inlay like you started the project. Next, you're going to shove the needle right in between the seam, where the 2 pieces of fabric are in between the threads. Once you push it through, turn your project right side out and confirm that it did go right through the center there. Otherwise, if it goes to the fabric, it'll be very noticeable. And then just proceed to sew in that seam line, also called stitching in the ditch. And what you're going to want to do is make sure that you keep your stitches that are seen on the outside very small. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem with it being seen. Now, I don't know why I finished it off this way, but it works, whatever. I would probably do it on the inside of the fabric if I was demonstrating it again. But all I'm doing is finishing it off like I did the blind hem itself. You go around, make a nice little loop. I lost the needle there, but you get the idea. You're going to make another loop, and you're going to push it through the hole. Come on, go through the hole. And pull tight. Do this as many times as you please, but I would recommend doing it on the inside of the fabric so you can, if you mess up, it's not a big deal. Now here's what it looks like on the outside. Now if the thread matches the fabric, you won't have an issue seeing that whatsoever. And it'll just go right down and have an extra hold just in case anything happens. Do it on the other side and you're good to go. Now the last thing is press your project. This is what makes an amateur home done project look professional. It's all about the finished press. So take some time here and make sure that it's nice and crisp and you don't see any of those threads poking through. Otherwise, you're going to have to redo it. Hallelujah, your project is done. Try these bad boys on and make sure that they're the exact length that you want them. And as you can see, what you would be wearing if you just wore them unhemmed or at a very long length, it's going to make a huge difference. But remember, guys, this is temporary. Only wear it a few times before you take it to your tailor and get it done properly. But there you go. Not too hard, is it? What the heck was that? Alrighty, so here we have the suit pants already done, and I hope you guys now have the confidence to go try this on your pants. And thank you guys for watching this video, and if you did find it informative, please let me know in the comments what I can do better, what I can make in the future, and also just let me know if you enjoyed it. Also, giving this a thumbs up helps so much, getting me recognized on YouTube and letting more people learn how to tailor. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.